Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone. My name is Rezky Awaliyah. I'm from class ACP Chemistry Education 2023. So, I made this video to fulfill the text of the ESM assessment, and in this video, I will present a material about self-assessment. In the world of education, self-assessment is the important method to help students understand the development of their learning independently. Self-assessment is not just assessing learning outcomes, but also as a reflection tool that allows students to identify strengths, weakness, and strategies that they can use to improve their understanding and skill. By self-assessment, students can be more aware of the learning process they live, become more independent, and be able to develop a more critical and reflective mindset. This method also helps teachers in adjusting learning strategy based on the understanding obtained by students from their self-reflection. So, what is self-assessment? Self-assessment is a process in which individuals evaluate their own progress, understanding, or skill based on certain criteria. In the context of education, self-assessment helps students to reflect their learning and increase self-awareness of academic development. The next is objective of self-assessment. 1. To help students understand their strengths and weakness. 2. Increase awareness and responsibility in learning. 3. Develop critical and reflective thinking skill. 4. To motivate their students to learn more independently and actively. And 5. To help students set more realistic learning objectives. And the benefit of self-assessment is 1. To increase understanding. It means self-assessment helps students know how far they understand the material. 2. Encouraging independence. Self-assessment helps students learn to manage themselves without relying on the teacher. 3. Improve reflective skill. Self-assessment helps students think critically about their strengths and weakness. 4. Developing learning responsibility. It means self-assessment makes students more aware of their learning process. And 5. Help the teacher. It means self-assessment providing additional information to the teacher about student development. The next is type of self-assessment. 1 is self-rating. Students provide numerical or descriptive assessment of their achievement. 2. Self-reflection. It means students write reflection on their learning experience. 3 is checklist self-assessment. Students use a checklist to assess their understanding of the material. 4 is rubric self-assessment, using a predetermined rubric to assess self-assessment. And 5 is learning log. It means students record the development on challenge they face during learning. And how to do self-assessment? 1 is setting learning objective. It means students need to understand what they want to achieve. 2 is evaluation understanding. Students reflect on how well they understand the material. 3. Using tools. Using checklist, rubric, or journal can be used to judge yourself. And 4. Reading reflection. Students can write the things they have learned and what needs to be improved. 5 is comparing with standard or rubrics. It means assess yourself based on learned criteria. And 6 is make improvement. It means students make plans to improve the weakness found. And there are 4 examples of application of self-assessment. 1 is checklist self-understanding. Students answer questions like, do I understand this concept well? 2 is self-assessment rubric. Students assess their texts based on a predetermined scale. 3 is journal of reflection. Students write about the things they have learned and the challenge encountered. And 4 is independent formative text. Students work on practice, question, and access their own result. But there are challenges in self-assessment. One is lack of understanding of the assessment criteria. 2. Low self-awareness or self-awareness. 3 is lack of motivation and honesty. 4 is difference in ability in self-reflection. And 5 is dependence on teacher or others. But don't worry, there are solutions how to overcome the challenge. One is provide a clear guide on how to do self-assessment. 2. Using a specific rubric so that students more easily judge themselves. 3. Encourage deep reflection through open question. 4. Creating an environment that supports honesty and self-growth. And 5. Train students gradually so that they are accustomed to the self-assessment process. So, the conclusion of the material is self-assessment is a reflective process in which a person assesses his own understanding, skill, and performance in an activity or learning. This process helps individuals recognize their strengths and weaknesses, as well as designing the strategy to improve their quality of learning and achievement. With self-assessment, students can be more independent in learning, increase metacognitive awareness, and develop problem-solving skill and self-reflection. So guys, that's all material about self-assessment for me. I apologize for my pronoun which is still less fluent, and I hope you all can understand the material. So thank you for the attention all and see you.